Good morning. I said last week that I would read to you the story about Zacchaeus because it's one of my favourite stories. So here it is from the Children's Bible. Jesus and his disciples were on their way to Jerusalem for the Passover festival. Jesus knew that it would be his last journey there. Other pilgrims joined them as they came near to the beautiful city of Jericho. All around was desert and the wasteland beside the Dead Sea, where no green things grew at all. But because it had fresh water springs, Jericho was green with sweet-smelling trees and fruitful date palms. Tax collectors made a good living in that city, and none more so than Zacchaeus, who was their chief. But he wasn't happy. Although he was rich, everyone despised and insulted him. They knew that he lined his pockets with their hard-earned money, as well as passing it on to the hated Roman rulers. Zacchaeus had heard about Jesus, the wonderful teacher who changed people's lives. How he wished that he could see him. But crowds had already lined the city street, and if he tried to squeeze through, he would get nothing but kicks and sharp elbows because he was so small. If he stayed where he was, at the back, he would see nothing because he was too short. Zacchaeus glanced up at the fig tree that grew beside the street, and he decided what to do. A few moments later, as the little procession was arriving, he was watching the scene below from up on a strong branch. Jesus and his followers came level with the tree, and Zacchaeus held his breath. Then Jesus stopped and, looking straight up at the strong branch, he called out, "Come down, Zacchaeus. I'm going to have dinner with you today." Zacchaeus rushed down a good deal faster than he'd gone up, brushing leaves and twigs from his stained robe. He went forward quite hesitantly. The unkind mutter of the crowds reached his ears. Why should Jesus go to dinner with him? Everyone knows he's a crook. Everyone knows he steals our money. But Jesus put his hand on Zacchaeus' shoulder, and together they went towards his home. Now, no one knows what Jesus said over dinner. But when they both came out, the crowd, who was still waiting, could see Zacchaeus was a changed man. He stepped forward and said, "Lord, I'm going to give half of all I have to help the poor." And then he turned to the crowd. "If there's anyone here I've robbed, well, I'm going to pay you back. But I'm not just going to give you the money back. I'm going to give you 4 times that amount of money." Jesus turned to the amazed crowd. "It's people like Zacchaeus that I came to find. I came to look for those who have done some wrong, but God is bringing them back to be part of his family." And the reason why I like this story so much is because I always feel that there's hope for everyone, that we're all important and we all make mistakes. Even the people who think they don't, they do. So if you're a child, or if you're a teenager, or if you're an adult and you're thinking about the Zacchaeus story, remember, we can always say sorry and we can always change our ways because God forgives us no matter what.